records and records that people didn't know. And some of my friends said, "Oh, you got all these records. Why don't you sort of play them at our parties or do the school discos?" And people didn't used to dance. I used to go along to a couple of clubs with some of my friends who were DJs because I had better records than they did. Sometimes they used to say, "Oh, why don't you fill in for us while we go relax?" And I did that, and in the end, the club owners preferred me, and I became a DJ. Thanks, Davy J. Good morning, London. It's 7 o'clock. This is Steve Jackson's Morning Glory from 7 until 12. The wind-ups are one of my favourite parts of the programme.
Hello? Hello? Is this the woman who lives above the Barclays Bank?
You know, it's great to talk to the public, listen to their views. I think of the public more. It's not about me, it's not about the DJ, it's about them. It's about entertaining them.
It's Chris Waddle.
Who is this?
This is Steve Jackson on Kiss 100. Carol Douglas, your friend Gail, has called us live on the radio. What's the message to Gail?
Tell Gail that when I see her, I will kill her.
I used to do pirate radio. I didn't do any, like, BBC radio or any radio training or go to a media study or anything like that. I just went straight into pirate radio. I think there was a radio station that needed a DJ desperately. Christmas. This was Christmas Day. When I listened back to the show, it sounded like I was broadcasting from a toilet. So that's how I started. People want to be a DJ, but what they want to do is just mix. So they get 2 decks in the house and mixers, and they sit there and just spend all day mixing and stuff. You know, when you go to nightclubs, that's really cool. But when you're on the radio, it's different. It's about personality, and you know, not everyone has that. Brandon Block, Alex P, out on the road with their squidgies, doing your cars, your windows. All right, so don't try and take liberties and try and make them wash the whole cars. I know they're novices at this. You must know, obviously, if you're at school or you're out around with your mates in a little gang and stuff, who the loud, leery ones are and the ones that always make people laugh, and they're outstanding and they go and do stuff. They always push to the front. They're the people that should become DJs. Oh! We get a few phone calls from guests or celebrities, completely unannounced. Sometimes they're in or they pop into the show, or I might see them the day before. "Oh, I was listening to your show. We was going to come in, we was going to drive by," and then they will pop in.
Helpline.
Daddy Bear's in the house! We're always constantly doing stuff, and we do a lot of the work in the show, and we come up with it there and then. It's very spontaneous. You've got to go and see Dave. Follow me into the palace of ideas. We prepare it the day before. As soon as the show's finished, then we actually go and bung our ideas together, decide who we're going to have in, and work out parts of the show and topics that we're going to use.
This is mine. We've got a choice, but it's a bit long. We could either do this one about a guy applying for a job at a holiday camp.
Right, that's the show for tomorrow. Well done. Brilliant show today.
Hold on a minute, we got 5 hours. That can't be 5 hours.
I want to go and eat.
The feeling. Absolutely. If you want a booklet with details of all the careers that are featured in that series, you can just telephone 0897 0999 74 and leave your name and address. We're taking another break. We're back in just 2 minutes with Nicky Clark's retro but 90s looks.
She said obligatory, Lily.
Sense, you know. Yeah. We've got Lulu's Main Course, Lamb, and EastEnders stars Ross Kemp and Barbara Windsor on the shocking violence about to come to the square. We'll see you then.
Mom, the cheese got out.
Mini Baby Bell is a real cheese with a smooth, mild taste. It's a treat in lunchboxes, great for sport, and perfect for picnics. It really is the little cheese that likes to get out.
Walkers have improved their crisps. Advise Titan Security.
Just when you think it can't get any more perfect.
Oh, you had 2 rolls with your soup. It's going to bump your half up.
It doesn't. Well, at least Haagen-Dazs is 100% perfect.
Look at it! Low calorie with vitamins. Get it out of our fridge!
Run? 26 miles? That's what cars were invented for.
Flora. Buy 2, get the 3rd free at Safeway.
The pain of a splitting headache can leave you feeling snappy or withdrawn. Solpadeine has a unique formula to get your head together again. Because its powerful combination of painkillers hits pain where it hurts. Solpadeine makes you feel human again.
Buy a pair of glasses from Dolland & Aitchison and get a pair of prescription sunglasses absolutely free.
Perfect.
Hello again. Before we move on, we've got a quick rendezvous with Nikki Clark, who's over in our makeup room creating lots of glamorous looks. How's it going, Nikki?
It's going very well, actually. Now, you can see, here's my 80s girl, OK? Now, what we've done is essentially, if you remember before, we had quite flat hair. So I've given it lots of body, but I've keeping the ends very straight. Now, what I've done is I've actually got my body by using these little pinhole clips and just putting them into the roots there. So the idea being is that it's all very kind of, you know, slightly edgy, very straight on the ends, but still very 90s. And moving over to our sort of kind of 70s sort of Charlie's Angel girl. Now, I've just started here. I've started on the back, getting that kind of smoothness through here, working through that little bit of a flick, and again, moving over to our 60s sort of Julia Roberts type. Now, it needs to be quite smooth and flat here, so I based it up, used some thickening products all the way through here, and actually used those 2 big rollers onto the top to give it lots of body. And the idea being, whether you're going to put it up or whether you're going to actually leave this loose, either way, you've got to work with that body there and the smoothness there. See you a little bit later.
OK, thanks a lot, Nikki. Lula's back, our Greek cook, our best friend, one of our best friends.
Thank
you
you.
didn't tell me that your husband Stuart's in the studio.
I kept it as a surprise.
Yeah, what are you ashamed of him, aren't you, really?
OK, well, we're
This is
doing...
the main course, Easter course.
Yes, well, artichokes are always associated with Greek Easter.
Yeah.
It's the first vegetable to appear...
Easter.
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 That's good.
It's
It's
the
not
first
Easter, it's Easter.
Pascha.
Okay.
All right. To appear in the summer, all
Yep,
right?
yep.
So,
Oh, really?
early spring,
Early
actually.
spring.
So I thought I'd do a classic dish, which is lamb with artichokes in egg and lemon sauce. Now, to prepare this, you cut
Can we
this...
have a little nibble?
Yes, not that one. Have this one. Mum used to do this, actually.
Just eat them.
Just the white part, and it's delicious. You don't need to cook it. Once you peel all the leaves off and you reach these fine things, you cut them off, right? And then this is the choke of the artichoke that needs to come out. Yes.
Yeah.
So if the artichokes are big, cut them in half and remove the choke. Otherwise,
You'll choke.
it does choke
Yeah.
you. Honestly, it's not very pleasant. But you must squeeze some lemon juice on top of them, otherwise they go brown. And always put them in water until you're ready for them.
Right.
All right?
Okay, good.
Okay, we'll move into this. And here I've got cooking some lamb, leg lamb.
Yep.
Cubed, yes,
yeah.
with I'm cooking it in butter and olive oil.
Right.
Yeah, it's the only meal actually that you use butter.
In Greece.
Yeah. All right, so you just cook it, and now I'm ready to put some salt.
So you cook it till it's turned colour, do you?
lightly. You don't want it to go brown. I've got artichoke in my mouth. I'm
Well, so
talking and the
have I.
artichoke is coming out.
It's a lovely thing you do in your restaurant. It's rosto, isn't it?
Yeah,
Where it's
rosto.
Lamb which is cooked till it falls off the
yeah.
bone.
Next time I'm
fabulous.
here, if you do invite
Do
me
it.
again, I'm going to do rosto
Oh,
for
yeah.
you.
It's
Right?
fantastic.
You add some flour now.
Yeah.
Okay, and some dill, fresh dill.
Her rosto, it comes on the plate, right? And you just go, and the meat goes, ching,
It's
falls off the bone. It's
lovely.
just incredible.
Right, it's
Sorry.
lovely. So once you
that was
season the
flour and dill.
flour, dill, and then you add some stock, just enough stock to cover. Oops,
Right.
I messed it
To cover the-
cook
to cover the
to
top of
cover
the-
the top
the
of
oven.
the cooker. All right.
Right.
And then you forget about it. You simmer it, and this is simmered.
Wow.
All right. You simmer it until your meat is
Brilliant.
half cooked. Okay.
Yeah, got
Which
it.
takes
All
about
right.
what?
It
An
takes
hour?
no. Well, it depends on the lamb. But it's spring lamb now, so probably 30 minutes.
Half an hour, okay.
All right?
Right.
And then you add your artichokes after 30 minutes. You drain them. You just add them on top.
Right.
Cover them, and cook them for 20 minutes.
20
That's
minutes
all
covered.
it needs.
Okay.
After 20 minutes, it's ready, and you are ready to introduce the egg and lemon sauce. Okay. So in here, I've got some egg yolks. Which would you like to actually add the lemon juice for me, Richard?
You want
in
to
there?
slowly
yeah.
put that in? Okay.
Yeah.
Egg yolks separated and,
yeah.
a drizzle of
Yeah,
lemon
a bit
juice.
faster
Greek
than
food
this.
uses a lot of lemon sauce.
A lot. We love lemon. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. And this, as I said, is one of the classical Greek dishes. And now you introduce some of your stock
Ah, clever.
slowly.
Right.
And you need to beat that.
A bit more?
Yeah, a little bit more, please, Richard. Right. And then you just add it slowly back. And you don't need to stir. All you do is shake the pan like
So
that.
that's all it is. Just
That's
egg
what
yolks
it
and
is.
lemon juice.
And it's honestly
Yeah.
one of the.
Why don't you stir it? Why do you just do that?
It doesn't. Well, you're
Just doesn't
going
need
to
to.
break. Well, you're going to break your artichokes for a
I see.
start.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
But
okay.
all right. And I'm going to
Got
give you,
it.
and that's it. It doesn't
it.
need cooking. It only needs 1 minute, and it's finished.
Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah.
Are you going to taste some?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
you
gonna
can
taste.
taste.
Are you going to taste it?
Famous sense of humour still with you there.
All
Lily.
right. It is.
All right.
Actually, I put too much
Yeah,
sauce.
yeah.
Yeah. And a
Okay.
bit of dill on top.
Bit of dill, bit of dill.
We've got a fork here, and I give some to Judy. Judy.
Man
Here we are.
alive.
Is it
I
nice?
think you're
Oh,
going to love it.
You're going to love it, Judy.
I know.
Maybe I'll show you.
I know you love my cooking, but
I do
this
love your
is
cooking.
All right.
What do we call it?
Arni με αγκινάρες αυγολέμονο. Lamb stew with artichokes in egg and lemon sauce. What do you think of that? Tell me. Who needs nouveau cuisine? All right.
There will be a fact sheet for this. You must get it. You
Yeah?
must get, at the end of the show,
very
we'll give a
easy.
fact sheet.
Very easy to do.
Absolutely
Very easy.
delicious
But
food.
that's the good thing about Greek food. It's
yeah.
not complicated, but it's so nice. You know.
Delicious. All right, we'll back to you later for the pudding.
Yes.
And the fact sheet address. And meantime, we've already looked at Brookside this morning. It's been a busy time for the soaps recently with the Streets Deirdre being sent down, set free. The explosion in Brookside, which we talked about earlier. And it's the turn of EastEnders now. Grant is about to come to blows, the swine, with his mum, Peggy.
There you are, a grown man, hitting your own wife in front of your own child.
I didn't hit her. Now you picked wrong, you can't handle it, and you're looking to take it out on someone.
I wish you was half the man. It's not surprising Sharon left you. I wouldn't blame Tiffany if she went as well. I'm surprised she stuck it so long with you as that child's father.
I don't want to hear this.
Nah, of course you don't, because it's the truth.
Just leave it, all right? Just leave it.
Apart from your two fists, you got nothing going for you. Do you hear? Nothing. And if I wasn't Courtney's gran, I'd have that child taken away from you. You're unfit to be a father. Lovely to see you.
Oops, sorry, we're just
Meeting and greeting
Meeting
here.
and greeting here.
Oh, sorry, I'm still eating Lula's lamb.
Oh.
We've got Ross Kemp here, of course, who plays
I didn't
Grant,
realise
of
you
course.
were on.
You're on, yes. Barbara Windsor, who plays Peggy. Now, they wouldn't let us have a shot of what actually happens in this episode, which is
wouldn't
coming
they?
up between you two. No, no, no.
I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. You did this right. You went as if you were turning
There
away.
we go.
And then you turned back. What?
That's it.
Is that it? No?
Well, something like it.
Something like that.
It got choreographed, didn't it?
You've got part of it. It's a fake turn away, and then he sticks it on you.
Well, Ross was very nervous of hurting me,
Yeah.
and they choreographed in such a way that it does look like he's really given me one. You know, smacked me in the teeth.
Really giving you one?
Oh, sorry! Don't start that. Mum and Dad.
When it was originally written, it was a bit more violent than actually what happens at the end of it, because I was very wary of, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hit people in general, especially women, and
But
especially
hitting
my
your
mother.
No,
Yeah.
that's right.
And also, you know, East End matriarchs generally don't get hit by their sons.
No.
No, there's a break, actually, isn't it? With A very solid convention. I mean, not only a convention in society at large, but in the East End, it doesn't happen.
But it works. You know, there is...
I mean, I go away afterwards. I go out of the show for some time. I'm banished from Walford.
Do they still pay you?
No.
They don't
Really?
ever let me see you again. And he's gone. And I tell you something, he's been gone for 5 weeks. And I've been leaving messages on, Ross, where are you? It's on their phone. So we're going to have that dinner in the iPhone.
So you're telling me, now I get it straight, you're telling me that after this punch-up between you two, which obviously you're totally to blame, well, you do wind him up, but anyway.
I do wind him
She shouldn't have raised his hand.
You shouldn't hit your mother, really.
You shouldn't have punched your mother's lights on.
Don't try this at home, please.
You're telling me that you're temporarily written out?
Yeah.
And you don't get paid?
No.
But he's got other things to do.
Well, that's not the point.
Massive.
I know that.
Yeah.
So
when I've enjoyed the break. I mean, I've been in this show 8.5 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you work.
Yeah.
You know, when you're working, you work, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's been very good for me to have some time to myself and, you know, sort those things that you don't get time to do, and, you know, when you're working.
We were talking to Sarah Lancashire, who was, of course, Raquel in Coronation Street for a long time yesterday, mentioning the Deirdre storyline, and she was saying that when you are in the centre of one of those storylines, the major storyline, the pressure is absolutely relentless. I mean, because you're in virtually every scene, and I mean,
and when we do well, we do get paid well for it. So I prefer to work hard. You know. It's been good having a break.
I think it is hard work. You know how I feel about it. I think I've died and gone to heaven.
Yeah, you love it.
You know what I mean? Playing my age.
You nearly did go to heaven last month.
Well, I just had a little blip, didn't I? A silly
Was it
moment.
pleurisy?
Yeah, but I'm asthmatic, and I didn't take my flu jab, which is really serious. Very, very silly, that is.
You asthmatics, you're a handful, you are. Our editor's an asthmatic, and he won't take his inhaler around with him.
And also, and then I was going home, and my personal life was, you know, having a little funny moment. You weren't going in just to relax, you know. You was going a little bit of aggro as you walked through the door, which no good for any of us, is it, dear, you see? No. And all those little things happened, didn't they? And suddenly
I'd have thought you'd be used to that by now, you know, the
no,
lenses
not in
your
my
face.
4 walls, no, dear. I like that all to be nice.
Yeah.
When you're working
go home to a sanctuary.
When you're working on a tough...
We need that in this business.
I know.
But it's all right now. Go on.
When you're working on a tough schedule, when you, as Judy said, you're actually carrying the storyline. What time do you go to bed? Are you in bed at like 8 o'clock, half 7?
Oh, no.
No?
No, dear. No, I went to bed at 1 o'clock this morning. Yes, I was out in the cold with Mike Reed. I was doing a magic moment, few scenes. Yeah. Oh, no. It doesn't work like that, does it, darling? It's all different times.
So the schedule's arranged around, basically, a lot of time around children because they can only work certain hours. So sometimes you can be called first thing in the morning and then wait around to the end of the day to do scenes because they might have to use 3 different children in one day.
Well, the reason I asked was because I phoned you up about a year ago.
Yes.
When you said something really nice about us on This Is Your Life. I thought I'd woken you up. It was about 8 o'clock and I thought I'd woken you up.
What were you doing?
He's being very sweet.
Very sweet.
Maybe another magic moment. I don't know, dear.
A different kind.
I remember you. I tell you what it was. I was a bit shy. It suddenly, Richard made up.
But you're
Richard. I know, and I'd been on This Is Your Life. You're lovely. It was great, you know. But I think that was it for me. My home. I'm a little bit like that.
Yeah.
You're like that too. You're starstruck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
of course you are.
We are too.
Because you do what you do.
We're very starstruck.
You know, whenever you're in a canteen, you know, a BBC, and then you see people who are famous.
Great.
You do. You
never lose the
you're
bus,
like everybody else. I mean, why should I be any different from anybody else meeting someone who you find, you know, interesting or famous?
We've got all the top of the pops, you see.
Oh, yeah.
Robbie Williams. It's all like
I know. When Robbie Williams came here live, the entire production staff, female production staff, I have to say, came over in a body, didn't they? And they were all having palpitations. Oh, she's gorgeous, she's gorgeous. You look
looking
smashing.
good.
You've still got the most fantastic... I'm sorry to say this, but you've still got the most fantastic cleavage.
Oh, just a little bit I thought I'd show this morning.
Yeah, it's very tasteful.
Baby pink's in, isn't it?
It is. It is indeed. No, she looks lovely, she said. You always look gorgeous. And we're going to show that silly clip, which
Chris Evans. I mean, it's the fact we've all seen the clip with the thing coming up. Top of the bikini, it was Carry On Camping, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we know what nobody had spotted until Chris Evans showed it. Do you
I only found that when I did TFI the other week.
It's a great moment. What you see here, right? You see, you know, the famous thing where Babs is doing this, and behind her, and behind Kenneth Williams rather, is Hattie Jakes, hatless Hattie, and as Chris spotted, there's a problem with this.
Continuity
so I mean, you have to watch her, but also keep an eye on Hattie. Okay.
And fling and in. And fling and in. And both arms fling. Now really, let's see those chests come out. And fling and in. And fling and in. And fling. Matron, take them away.
If you were a gentleman, you'd close your...
The hat was on.
The hat suddenly appeared. Continuity.
I know.
Out of
And he
nowhere.
did this whole thing about no hat with an arrow, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Hat.
I know you two are very close, you know,
Yeah.
you're very good friends. When she joined the Square, I mean, were you, because I knew that it was your great dream,
Yes,
wasn't it?
yeah,
You were just
absolutely.
was she just like you'd expect her to be? I mean, did you get on with her straight away? Because we all grow up with Barbara Windsor, don't we?
We met before, but obviously, you know, images like that obviously stick in your mind. Like, they stick in most people's minds. So, yeah, it was great meeting her. Barbara, to be honest with you, you were quite nervous when you first
You
joined.
know, you
And
felt
as
yesterday.
I was. You know.
But I was throwing up, wasn't I?
Were you?
Oh,
Were
terrible,
you?
terrible
And we bonded very quickly because we had
yeah.
to. You have to in the
Sure. There's no time, isn't there?
It
No
was
rehearsals.
wonderful.
You just turn up and do it. You know, stand there, act.
What were you nervous of? Were you nervous of screwing it up?
Because of maybe who I was, you know,
Yeah.
and I
Added
love this
pressure,
show
you know, for
so
people who,
much.
like when I came into it, I mean, I'd done a bit of television, but I hadn't really established myself in any way on TV. And, you know, Barbara, you know, household name.
And when you
It's
love
double
it,
pressure, you know.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved
Especially
it
from,
so
you know,
much.
further to
maybe
fall.
the media who were waiting for her to trip up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know, and I didn't realise 21 million were going to watch. I didn't know that. And also, when I work, I've always worked. I use my eyes and my hands a hell of a lot. And I was watching this act, and I thought, gosh, they don't do anything.
It's very still, isn't it?
Yeah, and yes, it is. Be
Yeah.
still. And now he was great. He really, really
What do you
helped
think
me
then?
out
What
so
I mean,
much.
you can't answer this.
No.
What do you think it is about Barbara that everybody loves her? Everybody wants to meet her. Everybody
Well,
wants on the
it
show.
is
everybody's
bubbly
at the
babs,
house.
but I mean, I've seen we've spent a lot of time with each
Yeah,
other.
we
We've spent
do.
some high times and some low times, like everybody does when you're working in any job, you know, whether it be
Yeah, yeah.
TV or anything. So yeah, but I would say that she's effervescent, and I mean that even in the lowest times.
Yeah.
She's like, she'll have a little, she might have a little cry on me occasionally, but within 5 minutes she's back on set, bouncing around.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because you think the alternative, there's no point in going down the alternative road, you know, which is
People,
sad
I don't want to
and unhappy
unload
and down.
my stuff on other people. You know, I always do it in my four
True
walls.
pro, basically,
yeah,
I would
yeah.
say. I mean, I think the best compliment you can pay anybody,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
who's done what Barbara's done,
I
is
mean,
to say
I'm-
that she's an absolute total professional at all times.
Well, you are, darling. Yeah, but I love this business. I've been in it forever. I'm so lucky to be paid a lot of money now. My twilight years and doing something that I love. I love.
Are you all right? Because you have had personal
I am.
problems. You've been ill.
Yeah,
You've had a split.
Yeah, my boyfriend's gone off to America for a few months, but please God he comes back. But there you go.
Oh, so the door's still open there, is it?
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, good.
It is for me, you know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard for Scott, you know, to be a young actor in this business. And
Yeah.
I'm a permanent reminder of success, you know. I've always got piles of scripts and
I
the
know.
phone's always going. And I think, please let the phone go for him, you know. But I've said it, if I've only spent 4 years with him, that would have been the most wonderful 4 years. And he is my best friend. He's great, isn't he?
Lovely
So
man.
there you go.
Oh, well said.
Yeah,
well
yeah,
said.
so-
Yeah.
Oh, it's really nice to see people who are so friendly together and work
It's
together. It's
good, and I'm glad this man is on this programme because he's a darling. And I'm always saying you should
I can
do lots
tell
of
he's a
interviews,
darling.
Ross.
Don't like
Look,
doing
look,
that.
yeah,
Don't you?
but isn't he
Don't you?
wonderful?
He's lovely. He's got a lovely smile.
He's gorgeous.
All right, you sit next to him and I'll sit next to him.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
absolutely.
Well, why is that? Are you just naturally shy, or is it the whole publicity thing you don't like, the whole junket?
I think the way it's manipulated sometimes,
Yeah.
I find a bit worrying.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to be here. This is the second time I've done this
I know
show,
it is,
so-
yeah, you've been on before.
So I'm very
yeah.
happy to be here.
Play it straight, we do.
It's lovely.
All right.
Aren't you playing a transvestite in some... sorry, Sue.
You're not.
Did I hear you're playing a
Grant
transvestite in some
Mitchell
new
is not a
drama?
tranny. I don't go for it.
You have to wait and find out.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Not on the not on
on
EastEnders, we have to
EastEnders,
say.
no,
No,
no.
in another drama.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might be playing a small cameo in a thing called City Central. I think it goes out in 2 weeks' time, yeah.
Great.
Which is, you know, something different.
Something different, yeah.
You know, I played
Yeah.
the same character for 8.5 years. When I trained to become an actor,
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd play
Not
the
a
same
character.
role.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm, you know, just developing trying to do other things. But whether it's a woman or not, you have to find out.
All right, okay, all right. Let's very quickly check then. The big scene is on which day?
April Thursday.
Thursday.
This Thursday.
This coming Thursday.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
that's where you
So
get
there's
yours.
an episode tonight.
And what you have to remember is, he may be horrible to her, but they love each other dearly.
Hey,
Absolutely.
tell you who fancies you rotten.
Yeah.
The Spice Girls. Did you see the Spice Girls singing your praises? Ooh.
Yeah.
You're in there, mate, I tell you.
I'd like to find out.
All right, it's good to see you both. Nice
And
to see you again,
you,
Mark.
take care.
Yeah,
Good
you
to
too.
see you back,
Thank
darling.
you.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Now, partly because of the little bit of bother that George Michael got into in LA last week, although we think he handled the subsequent publicity with incredible grace and style, didn't he? Don't you think? He handled it
He's such a
perfectly.
nice
He's
man.
such a decent, nice man. Anyway, Channel 4 are on the back of that. They're preparing a coming out evening quite soon. It's going to be fronted by American Steve Moore, who you might have seen in Ellen. And he's actually described himself as the first HIV-positive stand-up comedian in America. He's very funny. Steve is with Raj in the phone-in room now. So what kind of calls are we getting, chaps?
Well, we've had a large number of calls yet again. Most people ringing in who were terrified of telling their parents that they were gay actually had a very positive reaction in the end. But we've had one extraordinary call we're going to go to after the break from Graham, who, when his parents found out that he was gay, actually immediately locked him into a room, the same room, for 3 years and wouldn't let him out. So a very wide variety of reactions.
Blimey.
Great, dramatic.
You've taken our breath away there.
Well,
It's a bit over the top, isn't it?
I think that's possibly criminal, but we will...
It's certainly criminal.
Yeah.
It is criminal. I think that's probably criminal too.
We shall find out after the break. Steve and Raj will be back taking your calls right after that. Thank you both very, very much indeed. Lovely to see you again. Thank you.
Cheers.
And we'll see you after this.
Sometimes I feel like going... All I said was I'd get her some new trainers. She thinks I'm out of touch. I think, great. I just reach for the book and let her choose for herself. The price I see is the price I pay. And because I can spread the cost, she gets all the names that she can't be seen without. So if you've got one of these, get one of these. Call now and you'll even get 20% off your first order.
Mascara can make you look fabulous, or it can make you look awful. You get that pandery eye, and you're usually the last one to know. I'm Tina Earnshaw. I was the chief makeup artist on Titanic. I think Max Factor have come up with 3 great touch-proof mascaras. Now you can take a nap, you can touch your eyes, you can forget. Actually forget you're wearing mascara. These are terrific mascaras. They really are panda-proof.
3 new touch-proof mascaras from Max Factor, the makeup of makeup artists.
Here's a little test to show you how a pad with a hole can actually keep you really dry and comfortable. Cheers. You see, only Kotex Ultra have a hole in the top layer, so liquid goes straight down and is drawn along the bottom layer. And that's where it stays. So the towel stays soft and dry, and so do you. Voila! You don't suppose using dry white wine was a bit of a cheat, do you? Kotex Ultra. Protection never felt like this.
Hello, Mr. Bentley. Got a real treat for you here. You deserve it. I'll be back in a tick.
Not hungry, Mr. Bentley? Never mind. I'll pop it in the fridge until you get your appetite back.
Elmley keeps fresh for up to 8 weeks.
Some hairsprays are like yesterday's corsets. You get hold all right, but they're stiff, rigid, suffocating. New Organics hairspray reinvents hold with radical new technology Clear Hold. While some hairsprays clump hairs together, Organics holds each hair in place individually, invisibly. No stiffness, no stickiness. Nothing but pure hold and hair that can breathe. New Organics hairspray with Clear Hold. It feels like you've got nothing on.
Ladies and gentlemen, pleasure is always followed by pain. Pleasure, pain. Pleasure, pain. Pleasure, pain. Pleasure. But where's the pain? Virtually fat-free, Muller Lite. Pleasure without the pain.
Welcome back to the phone-in on Coming Out, and back with us to take the calls are Raj Persod, our psychiatrist, and American stand-up comedian, who you might have seen in the TV series Ellen, Steve Moore. When did you come out, Steve? How old are you?
I was probably 25, 26 years old. It
Yeah.
took me a long time because I was raised Southern Baptist. As you can well imagine, that's quite a mood swing.
Yeah.
So, it was very funny because I've lived in California for a long time, and my older brother knew, and my mother would always go up to my brother trying to find out, you know, Steve, don't talk to many girls, I think he might be gay, and on and on and on. And finally my brother and I decided we should tell them. So he took my father in the garage, I took my mother upstairs, and I said, Mom, I'm gay, and she said, do you see me crying? You think I love you any less? And then my brother told my father in the garage, and he was like, well, I guess they're born that way, and they've been very supportive, because I represent everything they probably should detest.
What year was that? Southern Baptist, yeah.
The Southern Baptist,
Yeah,
oh my gosh, I was raised 18, thank God for therapy, I just don't know what to tell you.
Would this be in the 70s?
Yes, the 70s, I told them in the 70s, so...
Yeah.
Good for you.
Oh, well, good. I mean,
Yes.
good. And how long have you been HIV positive for?
I've been HIV positive for 9 years, and then there's another coming out story altogether. You know, it's like 15 years ago, Mom, Dad, I'm gay. 9 years ago, Mom, Dad, I'm HIV positive, and then you know. And by the way, watch me on television, and I told the world.
And
so
talking about it, yes.
Yeah. So, and they've been so. God bless them. They've been so supportive.
Well, you're doing well, then, aren't you? 9 years in.
I'm doing very well. It's amazing. I assumed it would destroy my career. Don't come out and say you're gay, much less HIV positive. But you get information like that, and it's like, well, nothing else really matters. You know, I didn't do it for any other reason than sort of therapy for myself and to show other people that life goes on.
Sure.
You know, I'm a comedian. I'm still a comedian.
And you still make a very good living.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, let's take our callers now. This is the guy you were talking about earlier. This is Graham, who's now 32 years old, calling us from London. Hi, Graham.
Good morning.
This is a true story, this, is it, really?
Yes, it is, yes.
Well, fine. You were 13.
Yep.
And what happened?
Well, from the time I was 6, I've always known I had gay feelings in me, basically.
Right.
I got caught with another guy when I was 13 by his wife.
Right. Was he of age? Was he?
Yes, he was, yes.
Right, okay.
And he went to my parents, and she went to my parents and the papers. And immediately after that, my parents locked me in my bedroom. There was a cat flap in the door. I wasn't allowed out of the room. They nailed the window shut. I had food and passed waste through the cat flap every day. I had a pan of water in my room where I could wash myself down.
How long for?
For 3 years.
Do you mean you never left the room
Never
for
left
3
the room, yeah.
You had to go to the toilet in the room?
Yep.
Like slopping out?
Yes.
You were kept a prisoner?
Yep.
Did you
For
see
3
it?
years.
Did you have anybody in the room with you? Did anyone ever come in?
The only time I had people in the room, I had a lady tutor come around 3 days a week.
What the hell was she playing at?
at? Yeah,
Why,
I mean-
why wasn't she reporting this to the authorities?
It was a friend of the family.
Were they very religious fans? That's one question.
Very religious, yeah.
Did they belong to... They belonged... Oh, they were Catholics, were they? Well, I wondered if they belonged to sect.
And so they got you out of school by saying you were having home tuition.
Yeah.
Basically, so nobody followed it up from school.
No.
And how did you get out in the end?
Well, I turned 16, and that was in March, and they let me stay there for at least 6 months. They could see that my feelings hadn't changed to their way.
Yeah.
And on Christmas Day, they kicked me out. And
Oh, you poor man.
I turned heavily to drugs after that. And still getting nightmares. I still can't get into lift.
I can hear it in your voice. You're very tense.
If I'm in a locked room, I get panic attacks.
Yes.
I go basically mad, try to get out.
Did you have any kind of visual stimulation like television or radio or anything?
Nothing, no.
You poor guy. Have you had therapy?
I haven't, no. At the moment, I got into trouble 5 months ago, and I'm seeing a psychiatrist at the moment.
You mean trouble with the law?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Through my past when I turned to drugs.
I see. All right.
Up until 5 months ago, I was still into drugs.
Okay, Graham, don't worry about that. What about counselling? He's got to have some serious psychiatric...
Well, it's a great first step, Graham, that you're able to talk about this really dreadful experience. And although we can hear it in your voice, I think you're doing very well to speak so openly about it. And I'm very pleased that you are seeing someone who might help you with this. I think there's an important lesson here about coming out, because although we say coming out is a good thing to do, and most people have a very positive experience, you clearly didn't. And you've got to be careful about who you come out to, because if you come out to people who have a great deal of power over you, as your parents did...
Well, of course, he didn't come out. He was outed, in a sense, by the wife of the man.
Yeah.
So he was illegally in bed with that.
Yeah, it's a very tricky situation if you're coming out with people who are very antagonistic to homosexuality and have a great deal of power over you in this way. But I also suspect the way that this happened may have contributed to this. I know there were Catholics and had very strong feelings, but the fact that they discovered in this way that they found that I think you were having sex with, or some kind of sexual act with an older man, that shock may have catalysed them into behaving this very extreme way. Yeah. So that's one advantage to coming out, that you have some control over the situation.
Well, certainly, I think the most liberal-minded parent would be aghast that the 13-year-old child, boy or girl, was having sex with an adult. I mean, you know, I think most of us would be appalled and very worried about that. Fine, you deal with that. But then to lock him up for 3 years...
But what's really bizarre about this is whatever they may think about homosexuality, whatever they may feel about it in terms of it not being good for you, if they have those feelings, which I think are erroneous, locking you away for 3 years in a room is going to cause much more damage than anything homosexuality, whatever your feelings about it, might do for you. And this is something that parents need to think about. Do not make your reaction to your child's coming out more of a problem, because they're going to have problems anyway. It's difficult being homosexual in a homophobic society. Yes. But don't make your reaction more of a problem than the homosexuality itself.
Do you think, I mean, have you ever been tempted, Graham, to retrospectively go to the police? Because, I mean, what they did to you is clearly criminal.
Yeah. I was told when I got into trouble 5 months ago, my sister said then that I could take it further. I don't want to go through all that pain again. I've been through it once, I don't want to go through it again. No. You know, after they kicked me out, it took me about 3 months to move away from the town, because they kept on walking past. They used to cross the road, walk past, and then back again every time they used to see me.
But you must have found it fantastically difficult to adapt to life outside.
I couldn't trust anyone for years.
No, but I just meant in everyday behaviour, like going to the shops and filming yourself and everything. What a nightmare.
This is why I turned to drugs to compensate and to heal the pain.
You have the biggest excuse for whatever trouble you're in, Graham. I mean, and you deserve nothing but sympathy and support. Believe me.
And you've also heard from Steve that his parents were too very religious. I mean, Southern Baptist is really fundamental, isn't it? I mean,
God bless Graham. I mean, I've never heard anything.
I was going to ask you, in your experience in America, and you've done a lot of work in this field. I mean, have you ever encountered a story like that before?
Not. I couldn't believe it. I've never heard anything like it. No. It's you know, it's torture.
But one of the important reasons
it's against the law, I would think.
What we do find is like this, is that these parents probably thought they could get it out of you in some way by putting you in this room, and it clearly is not going to work like that. No. It's very important that parents realise that.
Okay, Graham, we thank you very much for having the courage to ring in and tell us an appalling story, just one of the worst we've ever heard in 10 years of phone-ins here. And we just send you our love and our best wishes for the future, and we hope you can get your life on track.
Okay, thanks.
All the best, Graham. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, we're going on to Dominic now, who's calling us from Buckinghamshire. Hi, Dominic.
Hello.
That was awful, wasn't it?
Oh, that was terrible. I feel so sorry for him.
Unbelievable. Now, you're 24, Dominic, aren't you?
Yes, that's right.
And what's your story? What do you want to say?
Well, I've moved back in with my dad because I've graduated from university.
Yeah.
And it's just been like me and my dad. My sister moved out years and years ago.
What about your mum?
For children. Well, my mum, she got divorced from my dad when I was 4.
So you live with your dad, right? Cool.
Yeah, I just live with my dad.
Yeah.
I find it really difficult to, come out and tell my dad. I've told all like my best friends. About, say, four years ago.
Yeah.
And, I was quite surprised how they reacted. Lots of them, they said, well, they knew. So that was quite comforting to understand. You always have the tears and the happiness when it's all sort of been said and done.
But you've not told your dad?
Not told my dad, no.
Have you hinted to him?
Well, not really. It's a really difficult situation. A lot of my friends say, my dad's very kind, very understanding.
Is he bright? Is he a bright guy?
He's a wonderful. He's such a wonderful bloke. He's he's really.
And would you describe him as fairly liberal-minded? Is he quite open-minded about life?
He does actually say he's very open-minded and all that. But
so what's the problem? Why wouldn't you tell him?
I don't. It's just really tricky because it's just been me and my dad. He's brought me up.
Yeah.
You don't want to hurt his feelings. You don't want to sort of tell him and then him suddenly reject you. He's like, you're not my son.
Oh, just one more question before we hand it over. I mean, what makes you think he doesn't know?
Well, he's never questioned me about it. He never actually said, you haven't seen you with a girl for ages. I haven't seen you bring girls home. He hasn't asked me about relationships.
Okay, all right, hang on. We've got a picture there, Stephen.
Well, I think it sounds like he would be very cool to come out to because. The thing is, when you don't come out, you're really robbing someone who loves you such a large chunk of your life. I mean, what if down the line you get a lover and you have to hide that from your father? And I understand it's very scary because, I mean, my God, look at what happened with the last caller. I mean, that blows me away. And let's not get afraid that's always going to happen. But, it sounds like you really love your father. He loves you. And, you know, you really don't want to rob him of that portion of your life. You know, you go through your whole life and you really don't know each other. You know, it's like, I don't understand why people can just live their life in a lie. And I understand it's scary, but I think you'd be very surprised there, you know, because blood is thicker than water, and, you know.
Well, I mean, the thing is, obviously your relationship with your father's very good. You obviously love him, and he loves you. And I don't think that a strong relationship, I'm not saying he won't be shocked. He may well be extremely shocked.
I think he'd be shocked.
He'd be shocked, yeah.
Yeah.
But he loves you. And, you know, you don't stop loving someone because of something like that. I mean...
Well, the thing is, because, you know, like, I'm 24 now, I've always known, when it gets to, like, you know, another year's gone by, you feel that you've just constantly been lying to them and you don't know how they're going to react. Because I think he'd be okay about it, but there's never been the right situation
time to sort of sit down and say it. Have you got any advice, Raj?
Yeah, I think most people, it's very important to emphasise, despite the first call that we had, most people have a positive experience in the end of coming out. I mean, one way forward here is sometimes it's slightly easier to come out if you've paved the way a bit by having slightly more emotional conversations with your father about emotions and feelings, slightly more personal conversations to try and put emotions on the agenda.
Because we've never actually sat down and really talked about relationships and love and things like that. We've never really had that experience, so just to sit down and sort of say, so who's your current girlfriend, or so he's never actually said that to me.
Well, that might be a way forward. And another interesting issue, and I wonder if that's happening with you, is sometimes there's an issue about your relationship with your dad in terms of you wanting to be the perfect son, and you don't want to fall in some way in your dad's eyes, and you have to resolve that as well, partly as well.
Doesn't it strike you? It strikes me that if you're now 24, and you're saying your father has never, ever asked you about a girlfriend, right?
Well, when I was younger, of course, I started to go out with girls.
Okay, right, okay, sorry, move it forward then. And since you've been back living with him, he hasn't asked you about a girlfriend?
Never.
Well, you see, I think that's a real pointer. I think the reason he's not asking is because he knows you haven't got one. And he probably knows why you haven't got one as well. And, you know, I think you should go for it. I think you should talk to him.
So too. He might be hoping that you bring it up.
Absolutely.
So
a perfect situation really would be for him just to sit down one day and just turn around David, you know, sort of just say it. So,
yes, see, he's probably thinking the same thing about you. The perfect thing would be for you to sit down and say it, you know? Yeah. So you're both sitting there with this gap between you, and you're not saying what you both know. I bet you, I make you a bet. If you do this, whether you do it now, tomorrow, in your own time, I bet you he knew. I bet you anything you like, Dominic, that he knows that you're gay.
Yeah.
I bet you.
Hopefully.
Okay. Well, look, would you think about it? And if you do it, I'm sure it'll be okay. And you've got to tell him anyway, haven't you?
I have to.
You can't
I've left it so long, and it's
so don't leave it any longer.
Just to not tell him.
The longer you leave it, the worse it's going to get.
That's it.
All right, Dominic. You know what you've got to do, right? We know. Very quick question now from David, who's from Manchester. Hello, David.
Hi.
Hi, how old are you, please?
I'm 26.
And you just don't know, do you?
No.
Why? Because you've had experiences both ways?
Well, no, not really. I've not had a girlfriend as such. I mean, I just don't feel comfortable with it, basically.
What, with heterosexual sex?
Well, with homosexuality, actually. Both ways, actually, yeah.
So you don't feel comfortable with homosexuality or heterosexuality?
Yeah. I don't feel... intimacy. I can't get intimate with people. You know, if I get chatted up or something, if I go to a gay club, I seem to run a mile, or I avoid things, and that even though I want to, you know, do something about it, it scares me. So.
But which sex are you more attracted to?
Well, some days I'll feel homosexual, other days I won't. I mean, because I don't want to. I'm not
I think I'll have one of those today.
David, you're bisexual, isn't this it?
Yeah, probably, yes. Well, the actual phrase for this in America is a questioning man. You know, not a gay man or a bisexual man, but a questioning man. You're uncertain as to your current situation. But if you're ringing to wonder about when to come out, certainly you shouldn't come out unless you're absolutely certain about your sexuality. Absolutely. You should wait till you're more certain. And also, maybe your uncertainty is about the fact you may not be proud yet of being gay, and that's a crucial step to come to. You've got to be proud about your sexuality before you can come out.
Who would you come out to if you did? Your mum?
Well, it's my mum, yeah.
Because your dad's dead, isn't he?
It's, I love her dearly, but I just don't want to hurt her or anything like that. And,
can you have, as Raj asked earlier, can you have emotional conversations with your mum?
Well, we do get on really well together.
Well, why don't you ask her? Why don't you take her into your confidence and just talk about it and say that you're a confused 26-year-old and you're not quite sure which way the wind's blowing for you?
Yeah, I mean, when I've thought about it in the past, she's always said, you know, when we see something like a gay chat show or something like that on television, she's always said, oh, it's disgusting, you know, God made man for woman and God made a woman for man, and, you know, it's not natural, and what do you think, Steve, what do you think?
Interesting.
But also, you could give your mother an opportunity to grow, because if she knew that her son that she loved was gay, she would see that program in a different light.
How many parents of gay people have said that? Exactly that.
Yeah.
Their entire concept of the universe, has altered because of their children coming out to them.
Right. It's always stressful to begin with, but in the end, usually, if you get over that stress, and that's why people are avoiding doing it, it improves the relationship between you and your parents.
Absolutely, and if you really love each other, then you're going to be that much more close.
Right. Listen, thanks for that. We have to leave it now. Thank you very much for joining us. Is it this weekend, the Channel 4 weekend?
This Saturday, Channel 4, the Ellen Coming Out episode.
Yeah.
I'm here for the big party. It's everyone should watch. And Ellen is a wonderful example of an opportunity to grow, because we were talking earlier about how teenage suicide in the gay world, and this is so lovely that, it's an opportunity that it's okay.
Did you record something last night for this?
Yes, we recorded something last night, like a party type of thing.
Oh, right.
We'll be going back and forth from the Coming Out episode, but it's really terrific, and she's done a wonderful thing, so.
Yeah.
Please watch. It'll be a lovely time.
Okay. And obviously doesn't give President Clinton any problems, because
Not at all.
and her girlfriend Anne were there.
Not at all. I love this country. They came in and they said, have a fag and put your stump there. It means a totally different thing in America. I'm like, I like it here a lot. This is working very well.
Love it.
All right. Thank you very much, Raj. Thank you, Steve. Look forward to seeing you at the weekend on Channel 4. We're taking another break. We're back in a couple of minutes with Lula's Greek dessert. We've got Nicky Clark and the results of his hair clinic, and that lovely girl, Julie Thompson, the pink-haired rocker who performed in front of the Queen. We'll see you then.
New from Kellogg's, just right. It doesn't weigh you down, but it does fill you up. It's an inspired blend including whole grain wheat, corn, rice flakes, choicest raisins, almonds and succulent dates, with only half the fat of muesli. So it's not too heavy. And it's not too light. In fact, it's just right. New from Kellogg's.
Effect.
Hello. Are you very real? Yes, I am. Very real. Is that chicken yummy? Yes. Ooh, what's that? That's a triangle. It's a triangle? It's a shape. Is it? You've just eaten it. Oh, it's come out again. Can you do that?
I will shape strawberry heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You enjoying that? I'd enjoy it even more if you'd stop nibbling my flipping ear.
Do you fancy
shape?
Mario, devi fare la spesa.
When it comes to a variety of Italian-style foods, you'll have to go a long way to beat Sainsbury's.
Hello again. Time for a quick Greek Easter pudding from Lula, which is what, Lula?
Galaktoboureko, which is custard rolls.
Custard rolls?
Yes. So we're using the classic filo pastry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the custard is made with fine semolina, corn flour, some lemon zest, and eggs.
Right.
All right. And also you need some syrup, simple syrup. You know, you just boil sugar. Yeah, some cinnamon and you know,
vanilla.
a bit of and a bit of cloves. That's it.
Okay.
You simmer until it thickens like this.
Yeah.
Slightly. All right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And in here I've got some milk boiling. All right. And actually I'm going to ask Richard for his help since you're near.
Since I'm near, yeah. That's right.
Just
stir the sugar in.
No.
No.
You stir that. This is the fine semolina.
Oh, the semolina,
right?
sorry. What I'm talking about.
So
Semolina.
your milk has to be warm, not hot.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And then we're going to add the corn flour. That's the base of the custard.
There is a fact sheet. Fear
Yes, and that's the lemon zest. All
not.
right.
The zest, yeah.
The zest of the lemon. Okay.
It's better be quick, Lou, because you've got a minute.
All right. And here is our egg mixture. And what you do really, you keep stirring until it thickens.
Gotcha.
So you
All
can
right.
leave it if you want.
Okay, I imagine what that'd
And
be
I'll
like.
show you how to. And here we've got filo pastry folded in half. Very popular now, isn't it, filo?
You just buy it, can't you? That's,
That's right.
Bit of baguette.
Brush it. No, this is butter.
Oh.
Melted butter. And this is the
twice
mixture we made.
That's what it comes up with, like,
yeah,
right?
and it's
Okay.
actually delicious, Richard. Taste a bit.
God, I used to hate semolina at school.
I know, everybody says it
you
reminds
won't
them.
hate that.
You won't,
Oh, no.
honestly.
Come on.
And it's actually one of the most
beautiful.
Yeah.
Delicate.
Very popular Greek desserts. What you do, you put a tablespoon of that, fold it to cover the mixture, and then bring the sides together.
Yeah.
Brush it again with some butter,
Right.
and roll it like a thick sausage roll, really.
And how long do you cook
then
it for?
You bake them. You brush it again with lots of butter,
Yeah.
because it goes dry.
Yep.
And you bake it for about 30-35 minutes. After 35 minutes, it comes out, and you make few holes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you need to put the syrup on.
Oh, lovely.
Put the syrup on top.
Oh.
Very Greek, isn't it?
Very Greek, yeah.
And a lot of people don't know about this dessert, but actually it's one of the Greeks' favorite dessert, more than baklava.
Lula.
And I'll put you some to taste.
Well, we haven't. Well, I'll taste it
you
afterwards.
taste
Okay.
it
Happy
afterwards.
Easter, Lula.
Thank
And
you.
to Stuart.
Yeah,
Hi,
I wish
Stuart.
all the Greeks happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter,
All Greeks.
yeah.
And for details of all three of Lula's recipes featured on today's programme, they're all brilliant. The lamb is stunning. Send a stamped addressed envelope to Lula's Lambratico menu. PO Box 1000, Manchester M60, 3JD. And they're also on Teletext, page 654. Earlier this morning, Nikki... What? Nikki decided to get a 60s, 70s and 80s hair look with a 90s twist. So over to you, Nikki. We'll come and join you. Thanks, Lula.
Hi. That actually smells fantastic, I have to say. Well, of course, my mother's Greek, so I mean, I've had some... Yes, I mean, I'm half Greek, so I mean,
Lula,
a lot of this...
his mum's Greek.
No, she knows.
Oh, you know.
She knows.
Are you half Greek?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, fancy. So all of that food, I mean, I grew up on all of that food. Anyway, I'm digressing.
Right, come on.
So, of course, we've gone in for our sort of 60s, 70s and 80s versions in the 90s. So, again, we've gone for this kind of 60s feel. I mean, I've actually taken a sort of a loose idea of this sort of ponytail and then folded it all in, but kept this part as being the sort of 60s feel. So again, this is the sort of thing that, you know, any young girl could wear. And in fact, I nearly did, in fact, leave it down because it looked fantastic. It looked like Barbarella, actually.
Yeah.
Looked great.
Yeah.
Having a bit of fun today, you see. Now, again, with that sort of 70s feel, I haven't made it quite so obviously Carmen Roland as we normally used to do in the 70s. Did you have that look?
Oh, well, yeah. Oh,
Well, everybody had that look, Farrah Fawcett look, you see.
absolutely.
So, of course, what I've done is I've just kept the whole thing just that little bit looser and a little bit straighter, so it's just got
Very
a
nice,
little
isn't
bit of an edge.
And it's still quite smooth on the crown.
Yeah, I haven't made it quite so flat on the crown as well. I mean, and I've kept, you know, the thing about today is that you really want to get the shine, and which you didn't have in those days. I mean, you didn't have any of the great thickening lotions that you had. You know, you had beer and things like that in those days. So, do you remember?
This I like.
And again, not as madly kind of punky as it was in the early 80s. And I've done a kind of, a slightly sort of longer version of sort of Winona Ryder-y kind of bun on
Can you just turn your head each way so we can just see?
That's great.
Very nice,
So,
isn't it?
again, that whole choppy feel that, you know, works. It doesn't matter, you know, if it's kind of, you know, just a little spontaneous. It just works with all that texture. And again, very, very straight. So it's got that 80s feel.
Ace, Nikki.
Great, isn't
Thank
it?
you very much indeed.
Oh, look,
Good
totally
stuff.
modern as well. Fab
Great.
stuff. Right, thanks, Nikki. That's it for today. Tomorrow we've got George Benson, Danny DeVito, Matt Damon, the real-life Full Monties.
But we leave you today with a girl who wowed them at Her Majesty's Not the Theatre the Palace. Here's Julie Thompson and Camp Houston and Damon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, see you.
quarter. And Susie is a regular customer. She visits twice a day so she can catch a glimpse of them. Now every day Damon's always sitting in the same position, reading top shelf magazines and wasting his time away till he can have a drink or two, then curl up in his bed till it's time to get up again. And Susie doesn't worry that she's in her early teens. She thinks that he will notice her if she takes advice from her magazines. She loves Damon, 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 she loves, oh, loves Damon.
They're just ordinary people like you and I. I think every star is a performer. They're not daft. They know that whatever happens while you're in the room will be reported in some way or other. But what you need to do is find out what makes them tick. I want the story, the story, the story, the story.
It's hard to know where to start.
One woman.
You've bewitched me.
One life.
How can I refuse?
5 husbands.
My love.
No divorces.
You married your own brother. I didn't know he was my brother then.
In a world that wasn't ready for a woman who slept her way to riches.
Madam, I am all at your disposal.
And lost it all.
It could happen to any one of you.
Alex Kingston as we remember her best. Moll Flanders, Sunday at 9 on ITV.
Isn't it funny how the family devours a terrifying amount of bread? Well, Asda are on your side. There's 24 freshly baked baps, enough for both teams and the crowd, for just 99p. That's just one of the permanently low prices on all Asda freshly baked bread. With 12,000 prices checked every week, you know you're getting Asda's best value weekly shop. Permanently low prices forever. That's Asda price.
Well, hello, my crimson beauty. What's in the basket?
Mini cheddars.
What?
Fancy a nibble?
What small snacks you have? But what a big taste they've got!
Oh, what big teeth you have. I suppose you'll be eating me next.
No offence, but you mind if I don't? Mini cheddars. They taste bigger than they look.
At last we'll discover the secret of the crunchy coating on these delicious bird's-eye fish fingers. Study them closely, my piranhas.
Our fish fingers have been kidnapped. I found them.
Hang on, you guys.
Captain Birdseye to the rescue.
It's not just the secret of the crunchy coating. You also need to know where to find the best cod.
When your clothes feel good, you feel good. New Comfort Vitality has an invigorating freshness. It makes fabrics bouncy, leaving everything soft and revitalized. New Comfort Vitality brings you and your clothes to life.
Nice stick, Gavin. No? Yes, thanks to my Alliance and Leicester money-back credit card. You bought it with a credit card? No, I bought it with cash I got back from using my credit card. I got these nifty little bells, too. Oh, hello. Cash! None of this collecting points business with A&L. I got what I really wanted. Quite the village gadabout, aren't we? A bit like marsh dancing, really. Always best to use a bit of common. Not everyone appreciates the common sense side of things. But there is someone who does. Alliance and Leicester. Common sense in a crazy world.
There's a whole new look to the new Case catalogue. More ideas, more fashion, more flair. It's more about you, your family, and your home, We'll even give you interest-free credit and 20% off your first order. For your free copy of the new case catalogue, call 0800 068 1234. It's all you want. And more.
The Green Bank Project is an organisation run by and for disabled people. We offer a range of employment initiatives and vocational skill training. The courses include catering, engineering, fashion and textile, information technology, and independence training. If you are a disabled person and feel any of these courses are of use to you, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Marie is 14 years old and twice the weight she should be.
Fat children will become fat adults.
Caroline is only 12